Alrighty, welcome back to another episode of the ATM podcast. Here I am, your host, Mike Mai, and here we have today.
Oh, PJ, aka Pineapple Papi.
And this is Tommy Lee. I'm back, but this time
Welcome
Mike had
back.
improved his audio, so y'all can hear me clearly now.
Here,
Also hear my true voice. The voice of my last one, that wasn't my real
porno
self.
voice.
Oh yeah, let's get it.
All right, before we start, right? Pineapple Papi, tell me how you got that name, bro. I am very curious. What's the story behind your name?
I don't know. It was like a while back. I think when Instagram first came out, I was thinking of names, and I think during that time, that's when like Drake was like at his peak in terms of like artistry wise. But no, I saw his Instagram name. It was Champagne Poppy, so I was like, you know what? Let me put my twist into it, Pineapple Poppy, because like.
But why
I would-
pineapple though?
Yeah, like
Your
I
favorite
grew.
fruit.
Yeah,
What's
I
that
would
you say
say.
for it? It's like dollars.
No. It's like pineapples. I just grew up around like pineapples at the household. My mom always had pineapples, and she was always cutting them up. And also, it's like the main fiber used in like a Filipino traditional like shirt called the barong.
So that's kind of like a Filipino type.
Yeah, so it's a
Fruit.
very like
Oh, I
it
love
has some
I love
Filipino ties to
food.
it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And just like this little sidetrack, I love Filipino food, bro. What's that chicken place that you guys got?
A Jollibee.
I fucking love Jollibees,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah.
Is that what y'all actually be eating, or that's just like an Americanized version?
I'm not sure. I don't know the history behind Jollibee, but it's fried chicken and rice. I don't know. It's like
Is
a
that spaghetti
Asian.
like a Filipino thing too?
Oh yeah, for sure. Cause like
Yeah.
that spaghetti is like, cause in the Philippines, it's like poor people. So like poor people were like, we're gonna make our own version of spaghetti with the noodles, right? Put some ketchup, some sugar into that shit, and some hot dogs in it.
Oh, so
Mix
that's-
that shit
that's
up.
It has like
That's
its own
why.
spaghetti
That's why it
taste,
has
yeah.
the sweet taste to it. Cause like it actually has like
Interesting.
that's the history behind like why there's a spaghetti in Jollibee.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, yo, that's crazy. Hey, yo,
Yeah.
you heard it from PJ here himself, Pineapple Poppy.
Yeah, man. Like you could ask any Filipino, like spaghetti is like a casual dish
Well,
like,
it-
that you would
it's-
eat on like holidays or like just being Filipino.
Oh, so pretty much spaghetti is like the rice for Vietnamese or Chinese people.
No, I wouldn't say
White
that.
rice?
It's more of like it's not like the no.
Oh, okay.
It's more just like another
That's like
It's just
a
a dish.
occasional. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying.
Cause like I think it was like it probably has like World War II ties like when the Americans were occupying the Philippines,
Yeah.
they would have they would bring I guess they would eat spaghetti and Filipinos just took a twist of it.
Gotcha,
Yeah.
gotcha. Okay. All right, PJ. Well, the point of this podcast is to inspire, motivate, relate, and 100% elevate. So I'm going to get straight to the questions, okay? So the first question for you. If you can go back in time during your teen years, right? What would be one piece of advice you would give yourself in your teen years?
But before PJ speak, like I think you should let the audience know, about a little bit about yourself and your background.
Oh, yeah, you know what? Tell me why Tommy is a better job at doing my job than me doing it myself.
I'm just the side host.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Yes,
Sure.
PJ. So tell the audience a little bit about yourself. What do you do? Your
Oh,
background, and let's go from there.
Your interests, what you do on your time.
I'm just-
You single?
no,
Sorry.
No, you should be happily married. All right.
I'm just a dude.
Not married. All right, but
I'm just a dude in Philly with a camera. I'm a photographer. Yeah, I do. I did it full time for like a year now so far, but yeah, I just had a journey with photography, and I love photography, so that's how I make my money through my craft.
Well, like, when did you grow your love for photography? Like, like how your experience was? Like, can you, educate let the audience know? Like,
Yeah, like photography was always just like something. Like I remember when I first had my iPhone, like I think it was like the iPhone 4 or whatever. I was always taking pictures with my iPhone, and I would always be doing the most, like getting the angles and shit.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? Yeah. Then one day I was like, you know what? What am I doing? Like, let me go buy a camera and just fucking learn. I don't know what like made me randomly think of that, but like I was just like, let me go buy a camera and just learn. So I invested in a camera, I think I spent like $1,000 on
Oh my
a
god.
nice camera, and then from there, like I just started shooting, and then I started shoot. I took it everywhere with me. Like I went to like parties, I went to like church. I went you name it. I went to
Yeah.
everywhere with it, and I brought my camera.
I feel at that moment like it's like you pretty much found your passion, and like not
I
everybody
wouldn't
gets to find
say
their passion
I wouldn't
early.
say I found my passion, but like I was thoroughly just enjoying taking pictures and like being at events and taking pictures, And then eventually like people kept insisting, "Yo, you should get paid for this," or "How much do you charge? How much would you do that?" And I'm just like, I don't know. Like I don't really know, because it's like I just like doing it. Like I never thought about money,
But you love doing it, right?
Yeah, I do love it, but like I'm saying, like I never really thought about money
Yeah, of course.
making
yeah.
it during that time.
Of course.
And then over time, I started like exploring like my creativity side with a camera, and like I started doing like portraits, taking pictures. Like I invested more money into the camera by buying like a better lens, and
They're not cheap either. I know that.
nah. And then I started like taking pictures of people, and then it turned into like street photography. It turned into like architectural photography. Like my love for like seeing things in a different lens grew and grew, and then eventually that's when like the passion started kicking in. I'm like,
Right,
yo,
right.
I think I want to, like, I can see myself doing this for the rest of my life, but how? Because
Yeah.
money is a big thing in our society,
Of course.
but also at the same time, like, how to sustain from it,
Yeah.
without working for another person,
Yeah.
corporate. Because during that time, I was working corporate at Comcast, even night shifts.
But before you
Yeah.
get into your appointment, like kind of tell us about which school you went to and what do you major in, because they want to know like like how you
Yeah.
brought up and like
what
and-
time
and-
you
yeah,
said.
and like when do you actually like
And my social security,
invest in
Your
yourself,
address.
Yeah. Nah, but I feel like people want to know that, like they
I
gotta
mean,
know.
I went to
Yeah.
Temple. I went to Temple for advertising, and then at first I went to Temple for pharmacy, and then I did like one semester of that.
People want to
shit.
hear that shit.
Yeah. I did like one semester of that shit, and I was like, "Yo, this ain't for me." Like,
So what made you say it wasn't for you? Was it because of the classes, or
no,
was
my
it...
grades were bad.
God dang.
I had like a 1.5 GPA at that time. Like,
Damn.
yeah, it was bad because like I'm learning like science and math.
And
I
shit
fucking
wasn't sticking.
for me, like math is not. I'm not a math person. You know what I mean?
I'm
terrible.
a math person when I'm counting money.
Yeah.
No,
I'm not
I'm not
like
no
that at all.
biology
Because like
person,
money's
chemistry,
not a
like-
priority for me. Like I just grew up like money is not a priority. Just live life
Yeah.
like
But
full.
during that
So
time,
you and your family already had like it set then, like your mom and dad.
Nah,
No.
we were
No?
broke as fuck. We came
Yeah.
from the Philippines.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
So why'd you say like money wasn't a problem for you?
he meant like in terms of like
Your passion?
like,
Was that what
passion, like
Wait, what?
putting time to edit.
Because you said earlier that money wasn't a problem for you when you were younger.
No, like not. It's not money wasn't a problem. It was money's not like a main number one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was confused for you. I was
Like,
like, yo, you must.
I wasn't a hustler. I'm not a hustler
Yeah.
until now.
Okay, yeah.
But like, and I don't mean like selling drugs. I'm talking about hustling where like I'm gonna wake up every day. How am I gonna get this bread? How am I gonna feed myself? How am I gonna feed? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's my
dope.
mentality now. I'm
Okay.
hungry. You know what I mean?
Let's go.
But back then, like I was just a kid, just living life.
Okay.
Like I just wanna like live life, go home, watch my cartoons, and sleep. Like dead ass.
Anime?
Nah, I'm not an anime guy.
What?
Yeah, I can't get into it. I don't know.
I don't watch anime either. The only type of animation I watch is part of Dragon Ball Z. And I don't know if that counts as anime.
I'm boring, dude. I'm boring. I'll be watching like documentaries. Like I'm a boring guy. But like
I like watching documentaries.
I like learning. Like
Yeah.
I like
You like watching
learning now
educational
and,
stuff,
like,
you know?
educational stuff. Yeah, because it's like how you gonna survive in this world?
That's
if-
true.
if
That's
you
true.
just-
100%. Yeah.
But like I'm not knocking people who don't do what I do.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it's just like I'm at this phase in my life right now where I just want to learn and I'm like obsessed with learning.
Yeah, you got to be a sponge. You have
Yeah.
to be a sponge.
You
Suck
have
with
to.
as much as you can.
Yeah.
100%. Totally agree with that.
Cause like just gotta be a sponge.
Okay, so I mean, let the audience know like how can they get in contact with you, bro? Because let's just say someone that's watching probably is booking like a a wedding shoot or something like that, like how can I get in contact? How can I get in contact with you, like your IG and stuff? I'm actually getting towards the end too.
Yeah.
Because I can do the intro and then at the end
I don't know. Just look at my Instagram, DM me, or look at my website. All my information is there. All like, there should be a contact me in my website. You know, just follow the directions. It's not that hard.
Okay.
Or just DM me. I don't know. Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
go do everything through email, right?
Yeah. Email. No, like if you email me, it's more serious.
Yeah.
Versus
Gotcha.
you would DMing me. I'm not
Okay.
gonna prioritize a DM over an email.
More professional.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. And I personally have this question. I asked in my previous podcast, but I'm gonna ask you the same question as well. So what do you think is a good startup cost for a photographer? Do you do videos as well?
I do a little bit of videos. Yeah.
Okay. So what do you think is a good startup cost for a photographer / videographer? Because there's someone that might be watching that wants to get into videographer and photography. Like, what is a good startup price?
I mean, that's a whole conversation itself. That's like a whole like podcast itself. Like pricing and shit. Because like I can't just tell you a number and you go with it, because it really depends on your skill level, and it really depends on like the type of clients you're trying to find. You got to find your ideal client. You can't just be charging everybody the same price. It's different.
True.
I'm not going to be charging $1 billion company the same rate as a small size company. That's just not fair to the small size, and definitely not fair for me to the bigger company.
No,
because I aim for bigger fish.
No, I understand that, but my question was a startup cost as a photographer. Videographer.
Like, you want numbers, actual numbers?
Yeah.
Like I said, I can't give you a number. It's like something you got to figure out on your own. You could think your time is worth $10 an hour, or you could think your time is worth $100.
No, that's not the. No, I understand. The question was
like how much funds should you put out to buy a certain camera?
Yeah, so your startup.
I'm like in my entrepreneur phase, like.
Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah,
bro, I felt the energy, bro.
Yeah,
I felt the energy, bro.
No, I'm passionate about that.
No, you should.
Because it's like you gotta own up to your
I
shit, and it's like you know what? I'm a fucking $1,000 an hour.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yes, I can feel it.
Yeah, my bad.
Oh, like communication right there.
Oh, like to like start a
to start
up
a
camera. How much you put out?
How much?
I mean, really, any camera can really like.
You could be $1,000.
You could be shooting with an iPhone. Well, don't do it with an iPhone, but like, that's another thing to talk about, iPhones and photography. But I'll talk about that another time. But like, honestly, like they say, the best camera that you have is the closest one near you. So, if I could shoot a whole wedding, with my iPhone and pull it off, you probably wouldn't like know that this was shot with an iPhone or this was shot with a Sony.
So definitely depends on your skill level as well.
I would say your skill level, the way you edit, your framing. There's a lot of aspects to like, things like that.
Okay.
But honestly, like any camera works. You could start with a Canon or Sony, your iPhone. But yeah, like it just fall in love with it first before you start thinking about money.
Okay. So it's going to be, I'm going to ask the same question again, but I'm going to rephrase it, okay? So let's say
$1,000 an hour.
Let's say it's someone that he knows nothing about photography.
Right.
Like, doesn't know how to edit, doesn't know anything, but he loves it. For some reason, it sparks that passion, that interest in him, and he loves it. Like, what is your best advice, and what do you suggest in terms of, like, material-wise, startup costs? Like,
I mean... Wait, so does this guy have a camera already?
No.
I would say, like...
Do your research. YouTube.
Yeah, you gotta. Yeah, that's what you gotta do first before you
your
make any purchases or you make any rash decisions. Always do your research.
It's unlimited information.
Yeah, you gotta go on YouTube and just like start looking at like cameras, and on YouTube. There's a plethora of videos of like comparison videos.
You just gotta put in the search. You can't just rely on the algorithm. Algorithm will get you sucked into the matrix.
Exactly. Yeah. Like algorithm is like.
You gotta.
I mean, it caters to you in a way, but like. At the same time, like, always do your research before you like jump into something,
Alrighty. Okay, so now let's get to the question now, since we know a little bit about PJ. All right, PJ. So same question from earlier. Like I said, if you can go back in time and talk to your teenage self, what would be one piece of advice you would give yourself? It could be any, like 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, but in your teen years, what would be one piece of advice?
Say like your high school self.
And before you speak, the reason why I put emphasis on your teen years is because me personally, I feel like the youth is misguided. They're misled.
Yeah.
And they think that, you know, in order to live, they have to live up to an expectation of certain people and how, you know, society move in general. But I want to let people know, hey, listen, like, you don't always got to fit in. You don't always got to do everything everyone else is doing. Like, find your passion and do exactly what you want to do in life. Like, don't try to mimic or copy anyone else. But for, like, seriously, like, sit down and, like, reevaluate and know exactly what you want in life. So if you can go back in time and talk to your teenage self or your teen years, what would be one piece of advice you would give yourself?
Just to don't be afraid to fail, you know, because, like, you really have to fail in order to break through and get to that next level of, like, anything. You know, you gotta fail because it's like, I remember what prevented me from, you know, even taking a leap into photography as a career was, like, just being scared of, you know, not having the money to pay for things, or just being scared that people don't like my art, or just being scared that, you know, people don't think that I'm worth the price tag that I give, you know. But, you know, I had to, like, every day you got to wake up and, you know, you want to be better, like 1% better. Not even like 100%, 30%, just 1% better than yesterday, because that's how you'll learn, you know. And then for 10 years from now, you're going to look back and be like, yo, I'm glad I'm glad I did it on that day, you know. Or yo, like, that was just me in the beginning. Look at me now, you know what I mean? So that's how I always try to think. I always try to think 10 years ahead, you know, and try to look back at what I'm doing right now.
Gotcha. Yo, that's real deep. I respect that. But I also want to ask you too, like, were there any worries that you had when you pursued your passion in photography? Like, when I say worries, and I mean like judgments. I mean, like, did your mom and dad support you? What did your peers think about you? You know, what are some failures that you had to go through in order to become the person that you are right now as a photographer?
I think, like, you said, what were the pressures?
No, well, failures. Like, let's say, like, has your mom and dad, like, did they support you throughout the entire process?
I mean, yeah, because the way that I got into photography was it was actually like a leap of faith. Like, I didn't one day just, like, quit my job and, like, decided to do this, you know. I got fired.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, I got fired, and then it was actually.
What'd you do?
It was like I was no, I got laid off, and then, like, I was going through mental health issues, and like I was dealing with a family death, you know.
Oh my god.
And then like, I couldn't work because I couldn't function and I couldn't think. Right. And also on top of that, I actually got promoted to a role that I didn't want.
Oh. They still laid you off?
And they still laid me off because, like, I was doing bad performance. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. Like, I'm glad it happened, you know? I'm glad it happened. I got fired, and then it was the best thing that happened to me because, like, when I first got fired, you know, that first month, I was just in shock. I was like, oh, shit, what the fuck do I do, you know? Like, you know, like, when you get fired like that, like, it was, like, my self-confidence was, like, at the all-time low. And, like, I didn't know what to do, you know? I didn't know, like, do I job hunt? You know, I don't even know what kind of job I want to do. I don't even know what kind of, like, what would I do, you know? But the thing that kept me, like, you know, holding on to something was my love of photography. Excuse me.
No, it's fine. You good.
My love of photography. And then I was like, you know what? You know, I love this thing so much. I'm going to put my all into it and let the universe, like, carry me. Because, you know, I was going through a shift at that time of, like, thinking. And I was just tired of, like...
Yeah, trying to think, too.
I was tired of being a robot. I was tired of working for someone's dream, you know? And I wanted to, like, live my own dream.
Right.
Yeah. And I'm a firm believer. Everything happens for a reason, bro.
Oh yeah, everything.
Everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
You know, you had to go through what you had to in order to become the person that you are.
Nah, facts.
I don't know you. I don't think I've ever met you in my life, but, like, just by listening to you talk, listening to you, like, speak about your passion. I can tell that you actually love doing what you do.
Yeah.
And that's the number one thing for me. Wise, like I feel like if you want to do something in life, you got to be passionate about it. And you're like a prime example. This is just by listening to you talk too.
Yeah.
So this is I don't know you from I probably look at your IG, but like actually hearing you speak about your passion, I can tell that this is something that you really want to do.
Thank you. Yeah, it was just like because I'm speaking from the heart. That's it. Like I don't have a transcript in my head. I'm not I don't practice this. I don't wake up in the mirror and practice. Like
he woke up this morning. I'm gonna say this at the podcast.
Exactly.
No, this is all from the heart.
This is all from the heart. Because like when you lead with your heart and love,
everything makes sense.
Everything makes sense. Exactly.
But one thing is that I tell everyone that whenever I chop it up with you, like even though we don't like link up that often, but whenever we do link up, we always have good conversation.
Always.
And once I leave the door, I feel energized. I feel motivated from just talking with you. And
I'm the same way with you, man. Because believe it or not, I get inspired by I'm even inspired by you. You're doing a podcast because I wanted to start my own podcast too.
Just do it.
But now I'm on yours, and it's just like, you know what?
You keep breaking barriers for us.
Right.
So
in the end of the day, I'm always gonna love people because that's my way of marketing myself and my brand too. You know what I mean? Just being a good human being.
Yeah.
Because if you're a good person, people will remember you. You know what I mean?
That is true. 100%.
And then for some reason, the universe just works this way where if you ask for something, if you don't say it out loud and you just ask for something, it'll come to you. You know what I mean?
Ask and you shall receive. That's what I say.
Yeah. And I'm not talking about and I'm not getting religious or anything, but it's just you really got to speak to whatever you believe in.
For sure.
You know?
Yeah.
And it's all in here. It's all in here. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
I totally agree with you, bro. Like I said, ask and you shall receive, and you actually have to walk every day like you own it. Don't just ask for it and then expect it to come. But you got to act like you already have it and it's going to come. That's what I think personally.
Yeah, you definitely got to envision you got to live in your dreams too. Whether it's you want to live in a nice mansion or whatever, you have to imagine it, and if you could describe it, it'll come into fruition. Yeah. That's why people journal.
Word.
That's why people journal, because people journal. They'll write things, whatever's in their mind, and then they're gonna look back at it and be like, "Yo, that all happened." You know what I mean? That's a form of journaling.
I actually wrote a check to myself from an LLC name that I have, but I'm not going to put it out there, that I plan on doing later on. But I wrote myself a check for $1 billion because I know that $1 billion is going to be mine.
Yeah.
But like I said, sometimes you just have to walk it. You walk and you have to act like you already have it, and then it will come to you. I promise you.
No, for sure. Actually, I learned from my one photo mentor. And he was telling me about manifestation. You can't you will manifest things, but it's the universe works in a way where it's if you keep saying and you want $1 million every day, you're never gonna get that $1 million because the universe is all right, I get it. You're not gonna get it right now, because if you keep wishing for $1 million, $1 million, $1 million, obviously you're not gonna get $1 million the next day. And you're gonna lose your motivation's gonna go lower, and then eventually you'll even stop wishing, and you'll stop manifesting things.
Yeah.
But for you to get that $1 million, it's okay, I wish I could make $1 million. Yeah. And then the next day you come in, okay, I wish I knew how to make something that would make $1 million. Yeah. And then the next day, okay, I wish I knew how to start a business. You know what I mean?
To make the $1 million.
And then the next day, it's I wish I knew, which credit card to get for a business. And then eventually your trajectory is going to go up to where it's I wish I knew which mansion I'm going to buy tomorrow. You know what I mean? Yeah. Or I wish I knew that,
I like that.
Because that's how it changes. You gotta rewrite the way you think and the way you
reprogram your
you got to reprogram everything because
it's possible.
Shit will manifest, There were so many days back in the days when I was young, I was I wish I was a photographer. I wish I was a photographer. Now I'm a photographer already. Now it's now I'm onto bigger things. Now I wish I'm a director. I wish I could make movies.
This guy's a
I
Yo,
wish-
let's speak of this right here.
Yeah,
Yo,
that's how you-
PJ is gonna have a
Guys,
$1 million cast
next-
movie. I'm
next
speaking
James
into
Cameron,
existence
No, but like
right now.
that's
No,
how
I-
you
I-
traject. That's how you traject your way of thinking,
For sure, yeah.
and it also reprograms you to do more things. In order for me to be successful, maybe I gotta stop. Going on social media more. Maybe I gotta stop. You gotta find these little.
I do
things.
it all the time, man. Like
Yeah.
I'm trying to like trying to be productive, like more productive by trying to cut out like the bullshit that I be doing throughout the day.
Right.
Like be on social media too much or like I don't know, watch it like waking up and staying in bed for an extra 30 minutes. I'm like, nah, I'm trying to cut that out,
Yeah.
Yeah. But I understand what you're saying about the whole you gotta put it out there and
Yeah.
grow every day and trying to better yourself somehow. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds lame on paper, or it sounds lame on like to some. It's fine. It might sound lame to like on paper, or it might sound lame to like say it out loud, but like that shit is real.
Yeah.
That shit is real.
Also, to add on to what you said, this is also something me and Tommy talked about in the previous podcast. You can expect to ask the universe for $1 million and not do no work.
Right.
Understand that whatever you want, anything that's worth having in life, is going to come with some kind of sacrifice or some kind of consequence.
Mm-hmm.
And me and Tommy, we definitely talk about this for sure. And you have to understand it. Like, if you want that $1 million, you got to work for it. You can ask the universe all you want.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, it's how much work you're willing to put in order to get that $1 million.
Right. What the fuck?
What the heck was that? No, that's clip. That's clip. Let's go right on TikTok, bro.
I hope the microphone picked that
Yeah,
shit
I
up.
hope it's yeah.
That was cat.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
I love how we just like all let it happen too.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking at you. I thought one of you guys were making that noise.
Okay.
That's funny as shit.
But yeah, Tommy, talk to us, Tommy. What you been up to, bro?
Yeah.
Not much, man. Just looking toward the next year and just starting fresh, Because every year I'm just trying to better, like one up from last year.
Now you start now, bro. You don't wait till next year. You start now, bro.
Oh, I'm definitely
You
starting
start.
now.
I know you start now, but I'm just
setting
saying,
myself up.
Don't, like, a lot of people for New Year's resolution, they be like, I'm going to wait till 2023 to lose this weight, X, Y, and Z. No, you start now.
Start now.
Don't wait until next year. You start now. You start now. So when you hit next year, what's going to happen is you're going to see more progress. And that's going to speed up your results. So you start now, and then in preference, preference towards 2023, you see a lot more progress. You can post your selfies. You can whatever it is you want to do, but you start now. Do not wait. Do not wait. And another thing is, I know for sure that both of you will agree with me with this too, is that if you don't start doing anything now, when will you start? Am I correct?
Right.
So, I mean, and now
it's hard to take that first step.
Yes, it's hard to take that first step, but you just have to do it. Like, just get out of your comfort zone and do it.
Yeah.
And also, PJ, I'm going to ask you this question.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, how did you reach out to client? Like, how did you gain the clientele that you have now?
Yeah, so like, I mean, I still feel like I haven't like been at that comfort level of I could find my ideal clients and stuff because it's hard, but like it takes a lot of trial and error to like get clients.
That's
know
the
what
key
I mean?
word, try and error,
It's trial and error, and also at the same time, it's like customer service. You have to have like good customer, and what I mean by customer service is just like
People's person,
or just like how are you as a person,
And making them feel comfortable, making
Yeah.
them seem like
Like,
whatever
just
they
being
pay is,
human.
like,
just being human and like not really like yeah, you're the business, but also at the same time like let's talk first before we talk business.
exactly.
Because like when you start talking to people about money and numbers and stuff, it gets awkward. So like I found a way to I found like a business way to like go around that and like be a human first and then business comes second.
Mm-hmm.
Like these things are two different boundaries that respect each other in like a flow. Because you can't always have business, or you can't always have like just being a nice person. Because that's how
like
you get
yin yang type of thing.
that-
We did
yeah.
okay.
because that's how you get taken advantage of. It's either you get taken advantage of, or you're too strong on like trying to get, or you're too busy trying to chase the money. That like
True.
eventually you won't even get money.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a balance for sure. But like in the end of the day, I always rely on like just being a nice person and like being authentic, because that's how people remember me, and that's how word spreads. And somebody's gonna tell their best friend, and their best friend's gonna tell someone else, and then they're gonna show them that one photo, and then they're gonna be like, oh, that's him, and then that's how it is. Yeah.
Okay. And I want to ask you another question as well. So, would you mind sharing how much you make as a photographer? It could be annual, it could be monthly, it could be how much you charge for a photo shoot.
Yeah.
Like, let people know, because I personally know any photographer, videographer with skill, they make a lot of money.
They do.
No cap. They make, I would say, even more than 6 figures they make. 100% for sure.
They could. Yeah.
No if, no ands, no buts. Like, I know, not that I know personally, but like, you think all the people that do music videos, right, for like Meek Mills and like Rick Ross, they charging 5 figures for those videos, and that's just one video.
Yeah.
So if you're comfortable with sharing,
I mean,
because you did say you said you felt like you were worth $1,000 an hour, and I'm pretty sure, I'm pretty sure you do charge, but go ahead.
No, I mean, let's just say I made more money than I ever made corporate. When I worked at Comcast.
Let that sink in.
I mean, when I worked at my corporate job.
Let that sink in.
I made, if not almost double than what I made.
And he loves doing this.
But anyways,
he loves doing this.
No, but like, honestly, all jokes aside, or like whatever, like, some months I make a lot of money. Some months I make like 10 grand, 20 grand, whatever. But some months I make like nothing. You know what I mean? Because it's like
comes with the business.
No, because it's like I changed my my method of like work, where I work less but I charge more.
Ah, okay.
Versus me doing $30, $100 jobs. You know what I mean? That's how you'll overwork yourself, and that's how you'll fall out of love with your passion. Because you're doing 100 jobs, and you're only charging like $100 each or $200 each, versus me charging 5 people, and I'm I'm like charging them like $5,000 each.
Yeah, you pretty much working smarter,
Yeah, work smarter.
Yeah, not harder,
And it's like, I try not to make money my motivation, Yeah, I try not to make money my motivation, because it's like, I feel like the less I think about money, the more money comes my way.
Yeah, money should always be a byproduct. I'm sorry to say, but like, if you don't love what you're doing, it's just gonna feel. To me, it feels like it's a burden. Like, if you don't love what you're doing, it's always gonna, like, to be completely honest, this nail salon that opened up, like, at first I opened up with the mindset to make money.
Right.
But believe it or not, doing nails, bro, you get to I thought I had bad problems until I heard my clients' problems. And I'm like, you know what? I probably don't have such a bad problem whatsoever.
Yeah.
But yeah, me personally, I feel like you need to love your job in order, well, not job, you love your passion and
career.
Exactly, career, whatever you do it, and then money is a byproduct of everything that you do.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got something to say about that?
I agree with whatever you guys are saying.
Nah.
Yeah.
Facts.
Me and Tommy, we pretty much touch everything that we're talking about now.
Yeah.
Me and Tommy, we talked about that in an episode. And the thing is, like, when people hear about this, they get reassured.
Yeah.
So hopefully, every single episode, I do touch on this topic specifically to let people know that love what you do, because money will be a byproduct. Yeah. Anything you can sell insects, bro. As long as you love doing it, I'm pretty sure you can find your niche and you can make money out of it.
Someone will pay. Someone will pay for it, because nobody else is doing it.
Exactly.
So you got a monopoly right there.
Exactly. Like, I didn't think
if you got a monopoly in something, you can dictate everything.
Exactly.
You dictate the market.
I didn't think Yu-Gi-Oh cards and Pokemon cards were going to be million, 6-figure business, but hey, listen, there's people that make a lot of money off of trading cards, and they love doing that because they've been playing ever since they were young, and so forth. But yeah, Tommy.
All right, I got a fun question for PJ. If you wasn't doing photography, what do you see yourself doing if it wasn't photography? Like, what would your other dream job or passion job you think you will get into?
That's right.
Probably like owning a coffee shop.
That's every Vietnamese person. I'm sorry, that's like almost every Asian person.
I can see it though.
No, like I used to work at a bar. I was a barista before, like making coffee for people. I really enjoyed like the whole process of making coffee and
interacting
even
with
like
customers.
the art. Yeah, and just like on top of that, just like talking to people in the morning. eventually you kind of build like a client. I wouldn't say clientele, but like
Yeah.
you know, you got your go-to person. You know
You
how
have
to
your
make
own
their
brand,
drink.
your own shop.
Yeah, cause well, I used to work at an ice cream shop in like
What ice cream shop?
Bassett's Ice Cream in Reading Terminal. I used to work there.
No.
Yeah, I used to work there during college.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I actually like doing that because it's like I got to a point where like so many customers knew me
Yeah.
that I was like, you know what, I fucking
Felt good, you know.
Yeah, it
You're
feels
like,
good.
I'm that guy. I'm the ice cream guy.
Yeah, it feels good. It's like, oh, it's like,
Yeah.
oh, nice to see you again.
Yeah.
Same old, and then yeah, you know
That's
what I mean.
dope.
But then
That's
like
dope.
that translated to when I was doing coffee, and I was like, yo, I like this. It's a
Yeah,
vibe,
like,
and also I
yeah.
love coffee shops.
And like we
I'm always
love
in
being
coffee.
respected, you know. Like
Yeah,
we love like doing what we love and like seeing people like appreciate it, you know.
Yeah, because it's like, it's just coffee. Coffee smells good
Yeah.
too. Like,
No, I don't think it's just coffee. I think there's a whole art of coffee.
oh
too.
yeah, for sure.
There's a
No,
definitely.
it's a whole like, it's a vibe. It's a vibe for sure. No, because it's like you can't be mad making coffee.
That is
It's not the
true.
same.
Yeah.
But you could be it's a more relaxed. You can't be too happy making coffee because then you'll spill something or something.
Yeah.
But then like it's like a mellow. It should be a mellow thing. Like you're making coffee. You're like grinding the beans.
Yeah.
Boil the water.
grinding the beans.
I feel like
he
ASMR.
said grinding the beans.
But it's a vibe to it.
I feel like whatever job that you could use your creativity and your people person type of skill is like
Yeah.
whatever you're gonna be good with, you know.
Yeah, I just genuinely love
Like
interacting
using-
and talking to people.
and
Yeah.
expressing yourself
Yeah,
through
I'm
art.
an open book.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, I can definitely tell. Like you definitely have the customer service side. Feel like
He's a
this
people person, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just a dude.
Yeah. But second hot take.
Hot take.
What do you see yourself doing in 5 years or 10 years? Like
Yo, fuck
like
this. I should
yeah,
make Tommy
yeah. Like how do you see yourself in in 5 or 10 years? Like where do you want to see yourself at?
Yo, Tommy, trying to do this podcast with me, bro?
I'm just adding hot takes at the end, yo. Yeah.
What was the question?
I said, what do you imagine yourself? I mean, like,
Oh, in
how-
5
yeah.
years? 5 years?
yeah, like, how do you see yourself?
Yeah.
And like, or like, how do you want to see yourself? Or how do you want to see the people looking up to you?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I just want
You're
wanna
just taking
be-
a day at a time,
yeah, I'm just
Yeah.
taking it right now. I'm taking it a day at a time. I'm enjoying the ride,
and just mastering the
but
craft.
if I
right?
could envision myself in the future, you know,
Yeah.
I'd definitely I want to be known for my work, like as like a
maybe
very-
like a legendary photographer.
I don't know about
at the
legendary.
end of the time, you
I don't know
know.
about legendary or all that, but like just like when you think of Philly, and you think of Philly photographers,
That's called
I
thinking
come
of
in
big.
mind,
That's
you
thinking
know.
of big right there, man.
yeah, but like just like even in the photography world, that would be dope. Like, because I want
That's a huge accomplishment.
Yeah,
too.
like I just want to.
And
I just want to.
I feel like that's a
have,
good
like,
goal, you know.
Like, cause like I grew up in that b-boy culture.
Oh, you dance?
Yeah, I used to b-boy and all that shit. So I grew up in that culture.
You know Sam? Sam Tran?
Yeah, no, Sam, that's my boy.
Oh shit. Okay. Oh damn.
yeah,
Small world.
Sam Trey. Shouts to Sam. But no, like I grew up in that b-boy like mentality because it's like when you grow up, we all had a b-boy phase, right? Or like
didn't.
a
I
dance
had a
phase.
basketball
I had a
phase.
b-boy phase, but
I did
it went to a.
Yeah, everybody had like a dance phase or a b-boy phase, but like
I
during
was still top rock.
yeah, but during those times we used to go on YouTube and like research like the best dancers. It's kind of like that, but like in a photography world, in an artistic way,
That's
something
dope.
like that, or not even just photos, like directing in general. Because I eventually, like I said, I do want to get into movies and I do want to do like music videos and stuff like that.
Aim high, bro. I feel
Aim
like
high, you know?
the
But right now, photography that's like my
that's the go-to, you know.
That's
That's the
my-
bread and
yeah.
butter, you know. And
yeah, it's like the Hadouken, like my
Yeah,
Hadouken.
that's
Ah,
your-
dude,
that's your special- that's your
hey,
specialty,
What is
you know?
it? Down right A or something like that? Yeah. All right, Tommy. I'm gonna put it on you now, bro. Where do you see yourself 5
Yeah.
years from now?
Mongol.
What do you see yourself doing?
Is that the word? Mongol,
Let me
I
answer for
see.
you. He's gonna have multiple sneaker stores all over the United States, and then he's gonna make it an international brand himself. That's what I think. But I'm gonna let Tommy
that'd be
speak for
fire.
himself.
Yeah, he's right on the money with that actually. Yeah. In 5 years I'm gonna have a few stores. Yeah,
And I'm
you're
gonna
on
help him
point.
look-
Yeah, you're on point with that.
And I'm gonna help him look for a store because he's gonna use me as his agent.
and I'm doing the photos.
Yeah. Yo, there's a
kidding.
pause there,
Just
bro.
kidding,
Hold
just
on,
kidding.
hold on, stop, bro. There's a pause. Like, you better say yes. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, okay, alrighty. Now, bro, for the second question, okay?
Oh, we only on the second question.
Yeah,
Damn.
PJ. Well, this is
Yeah, I thought it was
it
ending
really is.
credits.
It really is the final question. Sorry,
Ending credits.
second and final question.
I was like, wait, what? We just started.
All right, second and final question. So, if you can think back to a specific moment in your life that's life changing, it could be negative or positive, right? If you can go back in time, would you change it or would you just let it ride?
Oh, I would let it ride. Pause.
but what if you can like try to talk about that moment that
Yeah.
like that changed your life?
I mean, what changed my life was actually like a couple months ago, when I got fired.
Oh shh.
Yeah, like when I got fired, that changed my life. Like that was like the lowest of my lows.
That's like early in the year, right?
Yeah. Cause like during that time, it was like pandemic time, all that shit. But yeah, I got fired and like my back was against the wall.
Yeah.
I didn't know what to do. Like I said, took that leap of faith, and here I am now.
And like I feel like like how Mike said it, like everything happened for a reason. So so like for me, like I'm pretty sure PJ look at it the same way, but like I don't regret anything that happened to me in the past, like bad, like we just learn from it and like get better from it,
Yeah, I try not to look at the past.
Yeah.
Try not to look at the past. I try not to look too forward.
But
focus
you
on the
appreciate
now.
all the failures and all the setbacks, because that kind of create you who you are today.
You gotta have like a what's that?
Tunnel vision.
Tunnel vision.
Yeah.
No, that ass.
Yeah, but at the same time, let's say if like you could go back in time, right, and you knew the Powerball was going to be those numbers, you telling me you wouldn't?
But that wouldn't happen.
You're right. Just a hypothetical. That's basically
Like when you think of the past, try to be more realistic with it.
But in the past, it's also part of you too.
No. But like just thinking back at the past, try not to think about things you would do differently. Just think about like what actually happened, and then trace it back to now and be like, okay, this is probably why I react to this because this happened in my past. Let me, correct that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know I agree with you in a sense, but I also thought about this question too, right? So hear me out. So my grandfather and my grandmother they passed away already, but they were in Vietnam. I've had multiple moments in my life where I was like, maybe if I could go back in time, I could fix something in my life. And a specific moment too was I had the opportunity to go back to Vietnam. And I remember this, like my grandfather, he was telling me, "Hey, listen, like I can feel like I'm leaving you soon." And I had the opportunity to go back and see him like one last time. And my mom asked if like I wanted to do that, and then I said like no, like there's always other times. Right. But then it just so happened that same year he had passed away.
Right.
So
I'm sorry to hear.
Yeah, and that's why I asked this question. Is like, if there was a specific moment in your life, it could be
right.
Change either way.
I understand.
If you can go back in time and you can change an event, like would you go back and change it? Like that specific event for me was
something you would.
I could go back and.
Let me help. Can I put my input on that?
Yeah.
And like no disrespect or anything.
Yeah.
It's just like you got to take a look at it and like, okay, your grandpa died, but like also at the same time, your grandpa never left, bro. Your grandpa's always gonna be here.
Word.
Cause like when somebody dies, when somebody physically dies, they may not be here, but like spiritually they're here. So whatever you're doing now, and you continuing to like better yourself every day, your grandpa's proud. Trust me. Or your grandpa knows that. Like especially you just thinking about that. You thinking about your grandpa. That's like reaffirmation to him, that you know what, you still think about him. And it wasn't just like, oh, because you didn't go that year, so he died. It wasn't that. You know what I mean? You can't blame people for their decisions. You know what I mean?
True.
You can't blame that because it's like people have their own lives, people have their own things, people have their own traumas that they're dealing with. You know what I mean? And you really just can't put yourself in anybody's shoes. It's a disservice to that person.
It is a disservice, but me personally, if I can go back for like that moment, I would just go back and like hang with him during that summer, because after middle school.
Yeah, I feel you.
But
but now you got that memory.
Yeah.
And you have something so beautiful.
Yeah.
That's the only time I would say to look back. When
Yeah.
something is like that you could think about that's beautiful like that, use that to motivate you to be like, you know what?
Yeah.
You know what? Like I'm gonna change my life because I know Grandpa's still watching.
Yeah. 100%.
And that's how it should always be because I'm a pretty spiritual guy.
Yeah.
Like
Shit, me too, man.
and spiritual I don't mean like religion or anything.
Yeah.
I just mean about like life after death kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
I always think about death, and I always think about like legacies and stuff.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay.
So
All right.
that's why like that's why I live my life to the fullest, because it's like if I were to die tomorrow or if I were to die right now, would I be able to look back and be proud of myself? So
That's deep.
you gotta live your life to the fullest.
No, I agree.
Every
I
day.
agree.
Yeah.
I mean, even though like not everybody wake up happy every day, but sometimes we wake up, like we have our sad days, we have our good days, but it's how you take it. You can always turn that sad morning and adjust it back to a good day.
Right.
Yeah.
It's all in the mindset, like you said.
Exactly. Yeah.
Mindset.
Yep. Really is 100% mindset. But I'm pretty sure there's still specific moments in your life where you can go back and be like, damn, I wish I could have made this. But I understand what you're saying too.
Yeah.
It's like, that situation made you, who you are today.
Right.
So it doesn't matter if you can go back and change it or not. What already happened.
Right.
But it's just a thought process for me. Was like, yo, listen, if I could go back in time, if I could, but realistically.
But then maybe your life would be different. Maybe you wouldn't even be here.
Yeah.
You know what I
Very
mean?
true. Very true.
Maybe
very
you already
true.
been successful and you
Yeah.
already have your mansions and you know what I mean.
Very true. Very true.
But yeah.
Like that's why when you asked me on that our first session, then when you asked me, then like I told you that I really don't want to change anything, because I felt like whatever happened to us, we kind of like that kind of make us who we are today. So like, I don't try to frown upon like the bad stuff that happened in the past. I just try to like learn from it and move forward. So whenever you ask me, like I try to like suppress those like bad memories, and just trying to remember all the good stuff.
I feel you.
As you should. And the thing is, it's like the energy that you put out into the universe is what you're going to receive.
Yeah.
So the fact that the both of you guys, I'm pretty sure the both of you are wise in so many different ways. Like the both of your passions, I can definitely see, I can hear it. And like I said, I just want to thank you guys for both stopping by.
Thank you.
And yeah, man, PJ.
Yeah. Nice meeting you, man.
But yeah, any last thoughts? Any last, anything else you want to say, PJ or Tommy, to for anyone that's watching, what are you want to leave them with anything before we stop?
I'm gonna let our special
I'm about to start crying.
guest appearance have our closure right here.
I don't know, like
Tell the youth, like the one
Yeah,
that's getting out of
definitely the youth,
college,
man.
tell them.
Like I said, the entire point of this
you make me sound
podcast.
old as shit.
Nah, man.
Oh, come on, bro. But yeah,
Nah, honestly, like this world needs love, and like
word.
this, like, everybody's going through something in their life. You
Yeah.
never know how big or small. Like you never know if they could be the happiest person or not. But everybody's going through something. And just know that you're never alone. And then if you try to change your life and lead with love, even like if you make arguments with people,
Yeah.
you're not arguing with them because you're better than them. You're arguing with them because you love them. You know what I mean? If you lead with love, like
Yeah.
the world will like just like
The best outcome will
unveil
come out of it
itself to
because
you.
of love.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I also want to say this too. I thought about this yesterday, and it hit me hard too. Is that hate? There's not a problem in this world that's been solved with hate. So keep in mind what PJ just said in terms of love-wise. That's an awkward ass pause right there. But yeah,
You gotta find a catchphrase to end your.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. But all right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the ATM Podcast. I am your host, Mike Mai, and thank you, PJ, for for coming through and showing love, and thank you, Tommy, for coming through and showing love again. If you guys found this information useful, if you found this information valuable, if you're someone that got something out of this podcast, this episode, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel, If you have any
Leave
questions,
a comment. Leave a comment.
leave a comment. Any
Start a conversation. You know.
Start a conversation.
I'll get into comments too.
Something.
Yeah.
And also, I'm gonna have.
we'll be live streaming.
Yeah. And then I'm gonna have Tommy's information and also PJ's information in the description. I'll also have it somewhere like in this video as well. And if you guys want to get in contact with Tommy for speakers, you want to get in contact with PJ for photos or videos, you guys will have the opportunity to do so. Well, thank you again, guys, for showing up again. I really appreciate your time. I really do. It really means a lot to me that the both of you guys decided to, to block out this time of the day just to stop by and do this podcast. Because, like I said, this podcast means a lot to me. And, yeah, thank you so much for tuning in. You guys have a great day or night wherever you're at. And tune in for the next episode. Talk to you guys soon.